And so I just started, man. I just got to it.
What's the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
I built the business from the ground up, 13 years, 2 months, and I sold the business for $115 million. That G-Wagon right there, this Cullinan, the mortgage on this $20 million home right here is paid for by passive income.
Yeah, my company, we've done a little over $35 million in the past year. We're valued at about $140 million right now. So I think from a young age, I've had just a different way of thinking. In school, I hated it. I sucked at school, but I always knew how to sell. You need to learn how to sell. Without sales, there is no money.
I'd rather a billion followers than $1 billion because with 250,000 followers, I'm bringing in 9 digits in revenue.
What has been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
Yeah, you know what, man? Just get in the fucking car.
All right, you guys, if you've ever been to Miami, Florida, you know that there are more supercars on the road than in any other city. But what do these people do? Well, today we're gonna be asking these 7, 8, and 9-figure entrepreneurs how they became successful and how you can start your path to becoming wealthy in today's world. All right, you guys, we are in one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in all of Miami, Florida. We have a very special surprise for you. We're here at Eric Spofford's house. He's a 9-figure entrepreneur. He sold a company for over $100 million, has an 8-figure real estate portfolio, and invited us out to his house to give us some game for all the young entrepreneurs out there. Let's see what Eric has to say. How you doing, Eric?
I've been in a lot of industries. You know, my original industry was dealing drugs. I was in a life of crime and addiction and street life growing up, and that's honestly where I learned a lot about business. I started dealing drugs at 10 years old, 5th grade. Yeah, I was selling weed at 5th grade. Didn't work out for me like it doesn't work out for most people, so I got sober, changed my life at 21 years old, back in 2006, and then I got into drug addiction treatment. And so I went from being a drug addict and selling drugs to helping people get sober and change their lives. And then alongside that, real estate. And now real estate is a main focus of mine.
What has been the most amount of money that you ever made in a single year?
A little more than $100 million.
$100 million.
Yeah.
Dude, what happened that year? How are you able to?
I built the business from the ground up, 13 years, 2 months from the moment that I started it as a 23-year-old kid. Then what was I, 35 or 36, something like that, when I sold that business. And I sold the business for $115 million to a private equity-backed strategic company. And then I also sold off a lot of the underlying real estate assets that I had developed for probably, I don't know, 40 million.
What's been the best financial advice that you've ever received? If there's one,
I'm gonna give it to you right now. I'm gonna give you the fucking key. These guys should pay me and you should pay them for what I'm about to give you. This is the difference between the wealthy people and people that are fucking poor. You are gonna go out and focus on how to make income. You need to make money. I don't care if that's through starting a cleaning business, starting a business that comes to these nice homes in Miami and picks up the dog shit, if that's from doing solar. I don't care how you do it. Most people, they understand this concept. I need to make money. I need to make hundreds of thousands, millions a year. That's the goal. This is where everybody goes wrong. They make the money and then they take the money and they burn it on lifestyle. They make $1 million. I've seen this happen with kids in solar sales over and over and over again. They make $1 million or $2 million in a year and they take that money and they go buy the cars and they go on the trips and they book the PJs, the private jets, and they're at Poppy Steak and Carbone, and they got the girls, and they got all this shit, right? And they're living a good life. The discipline of the financial discipline and the patience to take that money, and instead of being excited and going and living this life and buying all these things, you invest it into cash flowing, appreciating assets. My vehicle right now is Section 8 real estate. I'm buying houses in areas at a very low rate and getting insane cash returns. We're fucking printing money with this, right? But I'm taking the money that I earned, that I hustle, and I'm putting it into this real estate. And then the real estate is paying me. And then I'm going out and I'm buying that G-Wagon. That G-Wagon right there, this Cullinan, the mortgage on this $20 million home right here is paid for by passive income. It's paid for by free cash flow because the money that I made, I invested it properly, and then it pays me for lifetime. And so think of it like this. Do you want to have a pile of money or a river of money? Because when you have a pile pile of money, you're gonna spend it and it goes down and you're gonna go earn to make more. You're gonna go replace it. When you have an ever-flowing river of money because you had the financial discipline that I just talked about, the right coaches, the right mentors, and the right advice to make the right moves, then you can go out and you can fuck the money off all you want, right? Your mailbox money hits the bank, the government, Section 8, the federal government sends you all your rent payments. You can go out, blow it on the trip, blow it on the girl, blow it on a car, and guess what? On the first of the month, it's back. And it's gonna be back every month, month over month, for the rest of your fucking life.
Eric, thank you so much for
Yeah,
coming.
love,
I
bro,
appreciate it.
love.
All I gotta say is that interview with Eric might have been one of the craziest interviews I've ever done in my life from a perspective of value and the amount of game he dropped for the entrepreneurs. That's a 9-figure entrepreneur. Jack, what are your thoughts on that interview? You watched the whole thing. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, it's super inspiring just to see him be able to tell his story. You know, he went from drug and alcohol addiction, being able to develop a business that could actually help people, and ended up selling that thing for 9 figures. At the end of the day, he pointed out the blueprint for how you get wealthy, man. Stop spending the money once you make it. You have to get income. It's all about the vehicle. Warren Buffett talks about the vehicle. And instead of spending that money, you got to put it into cash flowing assets like real estate that are going to pay you passive income over and over and over again. Keep building that portfolio so when you wake up in the morning, you get $10,000 that just hits your iPhone, straight passive income, and that's how you know you're fucking rich. Let's go.
Hey, excuse me, bro. Quick question for you, man. Is this your Lamborghini?
Yeah, this is mine.
How are you able to afford a Lamborghini out in Miami, Florida?
I've been an entrepreneur for the past decade. I've started and scaled quite a bit of companies, and I now manage with my team about 800 e-commerce stores on Amazon.
What has been the most amount of money that you ever made in a single year?
Yeah, my company, we've done a little over $35 million in the past year. We're valued at about 140 million right now. So that's the funny thing, you know, like people always ask, how much money do you make? But at the end, it's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. And number two, it's not just about what's your cash flow, it's what's the valuation. Because a lot of people just think like, oh, I want to make 100 grand a month, but they don't think in 3 years I want to exit for 100 million. Because you would give up 100K a month if you could know in 3 years you're going to sell for 100, 200 million, right? So it's a little bit of a different mindset shift in running a business.
When it comes to the way that people look at money, what would you say is the biggest difference that separates the middle class from the wealthy?
Well, besides the hard work and like going out and taking risk and making things happen, I've seen it, and it's their belief systems. So what you believe to be true is what manifests into your life, right? So when I was young, I didn't think having a Lamborghini was crazy. I didn't think making millions of dollars was crazy. That was not the reality I put inside my head. Now, most of society puts this traditional box system of I got to go to college, make 100 grand a year, and that's their belief system. So anything outside of that, like making millions of dollars, becomes a very hard reality for them to understand. And so if you can just see money from a different viewpoint and not have any emotion towards it, all of a sudden you'll see how much easier it is because it's not being put on a pedestal and you're not like, oh, it's so hard to get. It just becomes your everyday life.
What's been the best financial advice that you ever received throughout your lifetime that you'd pass on to the younger generation today?
Well, specifically for young people, it's the power of the compounding effect, right? Specifically, what one of my mentors has helped me set up is called overfunded whole life insurance policies, where you actually get to become your own bank. In a sense, you invest money into the market, you get it to compound, but then you can actually take collateralized debt against it tax-free. And so instead of just using your money once, like buying a Lamborghini, you put it in an IUL first, and then you actually get to pull out 80 to 90% LTV on that loan. And then your money still sits in there and compounds. And so setting that up, I think, is really important. And then you can start doing other fun, crazy shit like buying Lamborghinis.
I love it. You've got a beautiful Lamborghini Aventador right here. What would you say to someone out there who's aspiring to own a car like this their own someday?
But you need to learn how to stay optimistic through the failures, because you will fail way more than you win. And a lot of times those failures start getting to your head and you eventually quit because you don't think that this is right for you. When I was 18 years old, I remember I was driving to Las Vegas. I'll tell you a quick story. I was driving to Las Vegas with my family. I decided not to go to college, and they had told me, because I was looking at these deserted houses out there, I said, man, who would ever live out there? They said, Ryan, if you don't go to college, you're gonna live out there one day. And I remember envisioning me one day traveling, living the life of my dreams, driving a Ferrari, and I had absolutely no idea how I was gonna get there, but I just knew it. I truly, truly believed it. And so the funny thing when I got this Lamborghini is I was on a business trip in Vegas, and there was this full circle moment where I remembered when I was 18, and so I went to this exotic dealer, and I was gonna buy a Ferrari, but there was just too good of a deal on this Aventador, which is also, you know, something I've been wanting. So I said, fuck it, let's buy it. And now my 18-year-old self is like, fuck yeah, Ryan, we did it. You know what I mean? And final thing, you need to learn how to sell. Without sales, there is no money, right? Sales at the end of the day is taking one piece of value that you might have and someone paying money for it. That's all it is. It's not hard at all. For instance, there's a kid behind me. He wants to sell me on listening to one of his rap songs. Now, am I in the mood for rap right now? I actually am. So I'm gonna pay him for the value that he's gonna bring me. So you have to learn how to sell value that people people will pay big money for. All right, let's hear it. I want to hear what you got. Come on.
I started grinding, I had to get up off my ass, been focused on my future, can't be worried with my past. And the next bitch I get, I promise gonna be my last. Look on my old hoes, I tell niggas stay mad, and I know that I done did it, don't need for me to brag. Ain't chill about no bitch, I already done had all these love to advance, so a girl kinda fat. I started chasing money, had to put it in the stash.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
You're 12 years old?
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever give up. Every day just grind and believe in yourself. You got that, my man. Keep it going.
Let's go, bro. Proud of you.
Never give up on your dreams, bro.
I told you.
Thank you.
Shout out to that boy Ryan, man. He made over $30 million with his company in a single year. Had one of the most beautiful Lamborghini Aventadors I've ever seen in my entire life, and gave some great game and value for all the entrepreneurs out there. Let's keep this Miami video going, and let's go get this next one. All right, you guys, so we are at one of the nicest luxury apartments in all of Miami, Florida. And my man's right here just pulled up in the Ferrari. We're gonna go up to him, he's got the window down. We're gonna try and get some free game, figure out how he was able to afford a Ferrari out in Miami, Florida. Excuse me, bro, a question for you, man. Is this your Ferrari?
Yes, yeah.
What do you do for a living?
I sell watches and jewelry, bro, and cars too.
Actually,
Yeah,
and how
here
long
in
have you
Miami.
been a business owner for?
5 years now.
What's the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
We generate over 9 digits in revenues every single year, which is over $100 million a year.
Is it cool we ask you a few questions outside of the
Let's
car?
get it, bro. Sorry.
Let's go.
So what's your name, man?
James, bro.
I've
James.
seen you, I think, on social media.
My man. Have you always been a business owner, right? Like did you ever work a job, or what were you doing before you started
I
your
worked
business?
hella jobs, bro. I
Yeah.
worked at least 6, 7 jobs. Every summer I'd be busy, you know, I'd never just be chilling at home playing video games. And I was always driven, like, I had friends that, like, I grew up around, like, a lot of rich people. My parents are very well off, but I was not spoiled. So being around so much nice stuff, I would always see nice cars. My dad never, even though he had the money, he would never put me in a nice car. I'd drive a Toyota RAV4 when I lived in St. Martin. And yeah, just surrounding yourself with people who have more and people doing good things, it really motivates you. And for me, I had a lot of friends doing great, and I was just in school. I had 3K in my account. I was like, I gotta do some shit.
Yeah. What's the biggest thing that you've implemented throughout your skill set as a business owner in this industry to really stand out from the competition?
Social media and marketing, bro, for sure. Guys, I say it all the time. I'd rather 1 billion followers than $1 billion, because with 1 billion followers, I think I can make $1 billion annually, no cap. Because with 250,000 followers, and I rely very heavily on social media, I'm bringing in 9 digits in revenue.
What's been the best financial advice that you've ever received throughout your lifetime?
A lot of people are gonna hate this shit, but I believe to not worry about spending and just worry about making more has helped me get wealthy, you know? Like, if I was worried about, like I used to be, all the small expenses, checking my credit card bill super tediously, I feel like I wouldn't be here. I worry about the big picture now. When I have employees like, hey, I wanna spend this on this, and like I try not to be cheap. If it's needed, we do it, and I just focus on making more. I make sure everyone's happy and everyone's in the right mindset to just go pump out those sales, you know?
Cool, my man.
Thank you, James.
Let's go. Man, this Miami video has been absolutely insane, but I want you to comment down below who's been your favorite interview and why. We love making this content for you guys, so be sure to like and subscribe. But with that being said, let's get back to these interviews. Excuse me, man. Quick question for you, bro. Is this your Lamborghini?
Yeah.
And what do you do for a living?
Construction and real estate. I graduated college in 2009. I always knew I wanted to have a business, and so I just started, man. I just got to it.
How long have you been an entrepreneur for?
Right at 15 years.
What's the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year as a business owner?
We'll do 30 million in revenue. I'll probably make about 5 M.
How did you go from making 6 to 7 figures in your business to go from 7 to 8 figures? What's the secret to scaling?
Well, I always say one big important secret to scaling is not quitting. A lot of people jump from one business to the other because they get their ass handed to them. If you can stay in the same business and take the punches enough times to see them coming, you can start to dodge them and get your licks in. And I think for me, man, is I always kept the main thing. I burned the boats. I didn't go starting a million different businesses. And even if I did start a little side hustle here or there, I put the majority of my energy into one tree that I was watering, and it bared fruit. And now that it's bearing fruit, now we're just racking up everywhere.
We go all over the country asking business owners their advice to young entrepreneurs. Could we ask you a few questions for the channel?
Yeah, you know what, man? Just get in the fucking car.
Let's get it, man. I appreciate you. How have you been able to consistently close big deals, landing big clients over the last 15 years as an entrepreneur? What's the secret to selling?
When it comes to selling, especially in construction or any very like industry specific thing, you need to be able to sell with conviction. You need to be able to look a man in the eye and tell him, I'm gonna hit your schedule. You're not gonna have to worry about any bullshit. We are the best people for this job. Send me a fucking contract. And I've done it like that. I've called a guy up and he'll be like, you're $10,000 high. I say, cool, I'll give you 5, send me a deal. And because they know that you're gonna get the job done, they'll give you that deal even sometimes when you're higher, because they can't afford for the schedule to drag out, because that's gonna cost more and cost of money on the construction debt than it would if they hired the guy that was 10 grand cheaper than you. So being able to sell with conviction, I always say that you need to believe in your product so much that you truly believe that if you do not sell to that person, you are fucking them over. That's how much you should believe in your product. When you can believe in your product like that, then there is nothing that's gonna stop you from selling, because you know, and they can see that conviction in your eyes, and they're like, you know what, this is the right guy for me.
What is your best self-improvement advice for the younger generation out there?
As unpopular as it might be, get your ass in shape. When you walk in a room, people treat you differently. When you tell somebody that you can do something, they believe you because you're walking around displaying discipline. Let me show you something. Give me this hand. You see that? Yeah. That says something to me when I see it. That means you've been working. So I know when you want to come talk to me that you are worth talking about, because you're not just some fucking punk, you're actually working hard trying to get your life together. I respect that. It's hard not to respect a person that's in shape. All across the entire world, no matter what language, no matter what country, no matter what business, if a man walks in a room and he's put together and you can tell that he's put his body through pain and he's built his body up, it's impossible not to respect it. I could hate the person and be like, but I respect him.
We're sitting here in Justin Waller's Lamborghini. This took hard work. This did not come overnight. For someone who's watching this right now, a young 20-year-old kid, they're aspiring to become successful like you. A lot of people look up to you. You know, you're a lot of people's role model. What would you say is the blueprint to becoming a millionaire in today's world?
Try your best to stay sober if you're young. And I drink and smoke cigars and do all that other stuff, but not in my 20s I didn't. I built that whole fucking thing before I even started doing that. Put yourself around other people that are on the same mission as you, even if you have to do that on the internet in a chat room somewhere, because you're gonna get a lot of noise from people that don't understand you, and that's okay. Be kind to those people, especially because they're gonna be close to you. Still love them, but respectfully go your own direction, and don't put yourself around them if they're not on the same path as you. Keep your body healthy. Everything else can just happen.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It was absolutely insane to make it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe for amazing content coming soon, and click here to watch us going all over the luxury fashion district in Miami, Florida, asking luxury shoppers how they became wealthy.